Hello, everyone. My name is Brett Lurie, and I am the author of The Endless Frontier sci-fi fantasy weird Western genre blending series. And today we're doing something really special. Claire Glover, the narrator of all the Endless Frontier audiobooks, was kind enough to sit down for a conversation and just chat with me about the series, about books, about narrating, really about whatever we feel like, and answer a bunch of your questions about the art of audiobooks and the recording of the Endless Frontier series. So, Claire Glover, thank you so much for joining us. Give yourself a brief
Thank
introduction. Let us know how you're doing.
thank you so much. I'm doing so good, and it's so nice to finally meet you because
Oh, nice.
it's when you're doing audiobooks, you kind of are you don't meet the person in person, so it's really special. I'm very honored. Thank you for having
Very
me.
much, and so am I. And so many of my readers, their preferred method of reading is audiobooks. So you are the purveyor of the story to them. So I know to all those people who do Endless Frontier on audio, who get into the immersive experience of reading it guided by your voice. I know this is going to be really, really exciting for them to get a little bit more on the depth of your process and everything.
Thank you. That's so
Um,
special.
so I'll start with this question. And this one's actually from Violet, who is the interior illustrator of the series and also my partner. You've seen a lot of her illustrations as you're reading through the books and stuff. So, you have such a talent for giving each character their own very, very distinct voice. I would never confuse your rendition of one character for another. How do you do that? How do you not only come up with those voices, but remain consistent in that performance for each individual character?
Well, in the beginning, it's quite like clinical because I kind of obviously take their gender and their age,
Mm,
and whether they're male or female, yeah, male or female. Um, and then I start with like three tones for male. So then there's like the younger male, the middle male, and the older male.
mm,
Um, and I kind of run through those. And then with a broad cast of characters, it's really helpful to have the different accents, which Endless Frontier does, which is my favorite, because you get to have that variation, which not only makes it more exciting for me to read, but also it's just easier because to have like say 10 male characters as a female is quite hard to find the different voices for each in the same accent. So then having the different accents really helps. But in general, I think the story informs their voice, you know. I think every reader has a subconscious image in their head of how that character would sound. So I feel like most of the time I'm just a reader and I'm just giving my interpretation. I'm glad that it comes across as it comes across um yeah in an authentic way. And then I really like to do like a character. So often like for Endless Frontier, you gave me a breakdown of the character. So then I like to read their description in their voice, and then I kind of keep that on file. So if I ever, I'm a bit confused or like I can't remember, or I just need a what do you call it, like a reintroduction into their
yeah.
voice, then I kind of listen to that. But in general, there's kind of like once I know the character, it feels kind of natural to slip into their voice, especially when they've been with me as long as like Endless Frontier has actually.
Right.
you know.
Well, I was so like if a character leaves the story for a while and then they come back, say a book later or many, many chapters later, do you ever have to go back and listen to how you performed the character before to kind of, remember the exact nuance you were giving the performance, or does it just naturally come right back?
Some stick with me. Some do, but a lot of the time I do have to go back and like find it in the previous audiobook and listen
Mm-hmm.
back because I obviously want to make sure it's consistent. Um, yeah, so I do have to listen back. Yo, but for you, like knowing you have like such a broad cast of characters, like I don't know how you keep track. It's amazing. It's like a whole
Good
different
job for myself.
family you have going on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have a big, big Word document full of not just like character names, their physical descriptions, their ages, their strengths, their attributes, and their flaws and weaknesses, as well as their entire backstories. So,
That's
like,
so good.
what people get on the page as far as a character's backstory is usually only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
That does really help me just know the character intimately.
I was gonna say for your the characters with your character sheet,
Yeah.
it comes across so I can feel it reading it that they have such depth. And some books I read don't really have that necessarily. You know, they feel like a little more shallow. But you see, like obviously the reader gets a very small glimpse into the work that you've
Yeah.
done into each character. But I think I've told you before, like, and I really meant it, every character has such depth, and that I think that informs their voice as well, you know. Like I can tell they all have a past, and even if we don't know what it is, they all have a past and they all have trauma and they all have hopes and dreams. And it really comes across. It's
Well, no, and I
amazing.
think you help a lot bringing that across for the reader slash listener, because you're able to connect with that hint of a past that each character has. So no, that's why I've kept utilizing your skill for the audiobooks. Is I think you bring something unique to the performance of this series, from the point of view of really helping to capture the essence of each and every one of these characters. And you're very passionate about it too, which helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's so much fun.
Good.
Yeah.
No, and that's meaningful to me. It's meaningful to me that you enjoy the process of reading the story and getting into the characters and everything. And I can really tell. I can really tell when I'm listening to it just how much you are really giving your all in the performance, and you're very passionate about it. And I mean,
You.
my dad has said before, and it's really funny. Uh, why don't you get Morgan Freeman as your narrator? And,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, like, gotta love Morgan, but Claire has this special connection with these series that I don't care how famous of an actor you are, it could never be replicated.
Oh,
And also, I don't
thank
have a spare $2 million, so that would be
you.
a
Yeah.
secondary reason.
Might break the bank slightly.
Just a bit, just a bit. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet in terms of author success, but we
I've
we'll
been
see.
asked to sound like Morgan Freeman before, and I'm like,
You've been asked to
um,
sound like Morgan Freeman.
yeah. I'm like, I'm confused, but I'll try my best. Oh God,
Wow.
it's a fun game.
I guess some people just think voice actors slash narrators can just like do any voice,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I
There's
think that's a skill I don't have is real imitation. That's maybe I can develop it. I'm not sure, but real imitation of like famous people that people ask me to do,
that's
and
a
I'm
whole
like,
separate skill
yeah,
set, isn't it?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
What is your recording setup like? Like, do you have a full studio? Do you just have a
Mm,
booth, or is it just, a microphone at your office desk? Like, because your sound
yeah.
quality is amazing. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
I'm glad it is.
great.
It's thanks my husband, we were just dating at the time, but it was actually during COVID when like I was in a production of The Producers, and then like 3 weeks into our run, the theater closed. And I
Uh,
was like, ah, damn it. So what am I gonna do now? And my aunt, who's an agent, said, why don't you um build yourself a booth and try voice acting from home? I'd done dubbing before of like foreign movies, but
yeah.
anyway, so Bart built me a booth and it was like tap 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 in our little flat. And he's a draftsman slash R&D engineer, so he like knows structure and stuff like that, which was very helpful.
Oh, what a
Um,
perfect pairing in that case, then.
I know that was so
I
lucky.
love that.
I'm like, I owe my career to you, thank
Right.
you.
And
So yeah, he built me a booth and it's come with us wherever we go.
that's
Yeah.
brilliant. No, I mean that's so cool that you not only had that connection, in terms of as a partner, but that you were such a good match just for both of you guys professionally. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you two, right? Like,
Exactly. I was just gonna say
I was
that.
thinking
It's
about it yesterday. I was like, oh my God, my heart is such a perfect, beautiful
no, it really is.
matching.
And Claire, actually, like we eventually want to do Endless Frontier comics, which would be so perfect because Violet's such a skilled artist. And
Oh my, I love
yeah.
that. Yes, please.
And people are always asking me, when's the comic? When's the manga? When's the comic? When's the manga? And it's like, let me finish writing the books first, and then
Yeah.
we'll get into that. But
Everybody,
people are often asking for that.
that's incredible. It's going to be like a lifetime of work for you, right? Like a proper full saga.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever fully being done with this series. I'll probably take breaks from it to work in other genres and try other things. But yeah, I don't really ever see myself being like, okay, Endless Frontier's done. This part of the series, the main series, like Casta Crane's story, teaming up with Dresco Norte, treasure hunting, taking on the Imperium, that has a closed ending. That will be 4 books. But
Yeah.
everything else, it's limitless potential. You know,
Yeah.
it's such a big world that's kind of just blossomed in my mind that
Yeah.
there's just I want to do tales far in the future at the same time in the ancient times. So yeah, I hope you got more character voices in your head because
I'll keep exploring. Um, I was yeah, because looking at your like map, I was looking at them yesterday as well. It's so detailed, and I'm like, there's so many things that can happen. It's like yeah, endless potential.
we're only
So
scratching
cool.
the surface. We are only
Yeah.
scratching the surface here. When you go on my books and you click on your name and just click on the Claire Glover repertoire on Audible, it is stunning how many different books you've done, how many genres you've done. Um, what is your process for just getting in the mood for different genres? Or do you have one? Is it just kind of like, I'm going into the booth, I'm going to work?
Um, it's a bit of both
Yeah.
because I do like a lot of audiobooks. Um, so it is sometimes just like I gotta work, I gotta get this done. But it depends. I mean, like with nonfiction, I do a lot of autobiographies and
Mm-hmm.
self-help books. And then, it's just kind of having that easy flow, kind of trying to sound like a friend who knows a lot and really confident in what you're saying. Um, but with fantasy, I try to, in the narration itself, try to bring an air of like mystery to kind of like draw the
Mm.
reader in. Um, yeah, but it really depends on the book. I feel like in the first few pages kind of informs the tone that I should be narrating. And sometimes I
Yeah.
start the first 3 pages and I'm like, well, hold up, that wasn't right. And then I got to go back and
Try
kind
again.
of in a more informed way and redo. But yeah, but yeah, the book kind of informs it, I guess. I feel like I'm more of a reader than a narrator most of the time. Just
That makes
if that
sense.
makes sense.
Do you have a favorite genre to narrate?
I'm not just saying that because Endless Frontier is fantasy, but it is fantasy
It is.
because especially when there's different like creatures and things like that,
Yeah.
like doing a centaur and one that I did an Australian centaur. I was like, what am I doing? Why is this food Australian?
No, I love that. That's great.
But it came out and I was like, I'm going with it, and they loved it. But yeah, finding the different voices for the different races and creatures,
Mm-hmm.
it's really fun. And there's also more opportunity in fantasy to kind of do the accents, which is my favorite. So yeah, it's my favorite.
I don't even know if you know this. When I was picking the narrator for Endless Frontier, I kind of held auditions, if you will. And I found you on your Fiverr listing, and then I also just put out an open casting call on like voice.com, stuff like that. I got
Yeah.
a lot of people who wanted to narrate the series. And after going through several rounds, it came down to you and one other narrator who I also really, really liked.
It was
Um,
Morgan Freeman.
It was Morgan Freeman, exactly. Yes, yeah. It was you against Morgan, and I just went, you know what, Morgan? But slightly out of my budget. Sorry, bud. But maybe during the movie adaptation, you can play Marshall Joss. I don't know, but
Yeah.
no. But then it was you. I wanted a woman narrator to do this story because it was for Hunter in the Night. It's all from Casta's perspective. I thought it was really important to have a woman's voice behind the story. So it was you and another woman who was also very talented. She had this really kind of rugged, naturally voice that kind of brought that Western feel. Um, the tiebreaker, Claire, she couldn't do accents. He couldn't do accents. And that, aside from just chatting with you and really liking you, realizing that you would be a really easy person to work with, your Scottish accent in particular, because Madame Veilise is such an important character to the series as a whole, I was like, it's got to be that one. It's got to be Claire.
Yay! I'm so glad. Scottish accent is actually one of the hardest ones I find because of the R's. And then they're like the library, like the R's are really hard. Sometimes I do about like 10 takes of Scottish, like just one tiny line because I'm like,
I wonder about that sometimes. Like when you're doing those, because like Blood and Soul has a lot of really long Madame Veilise monologues where she's just like talking for over a page. And I can kind of like, I'm just picturing you in the booth. Like, I'm just like, is she going to get tongue tied? Like, how many times did she have to do a take of this to get it right?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. But no,
but
that's
like eventually I get into it. It's just that the tongue gets really tied.
Well, and then yeah, when you do like Skyguard, the young Saria Veilise stories too. And also, I want to mention that you do such a good job differentiating between young Saria Veilise and older, wizened business tycoon Saria Veilise.
Yeah.
You can tell they're the same character, but you put a different spin on the performance. And like, you correct me if I'm wrong, but do you go a little tiny bit lower in the vocal register when you're doing Madame Veilise compared to Saria?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I thought so.
So I guess naturally, like a woman's voice deepens somewhat throughout her life. I don't know. I imagine that. I think that's true. My voice has deepened. I think, and I'm only 28. So, maybe when I'm older,
maybe when you're older,
but
you will be able to do Morgan Freeman.
I will. Oh my gosh, it's a dream come true.
You're gonna put him out of work.
Yeah. Perfect imitation. Yeah, but it is the Scottish accent can be challenging.
I would imagine so. I mean, like, I'm the kind of person who likes accents too, and like, I'm no professional. I just like messing around and doing accents from time to time. And Scottish is the one where like I too will just kind of find myself going like, wait, what do words sound like?
Yeah,
yeah,
literally. And even the I don't know, just the E, like I don't know the E. Everything is different, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? Accent.
So much fun. And hearing you do all the accents is all like you'll throw me a curveball sometime. Like I won't say a character has a specific accent. You'll just come in and be like, this character's got a Northern Irish accent. And I'm like, now she's always gonna have a Northern Irish accent in my head. Perfect. Awesome.
I'm glad you accept that. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what to do for this. So I just like come out with something. I'm like, maybe. So
very rarely have you ever like picked a character's voice out, and only maybe once or twice have I had to go like, can we try a different voice for that character?
Yeah.
But no, most of the time, like you kind of hit the nail on the head, or at the very least arrive on something where I'm like, yeah, that definitely works.
It could work. What's your favorite accent to do if you were to like
my favorite accent to do? I do like Scottish accents. I've been really into like Northern English accents recently. Particularly because there's a character in book 3 with kind of I wanted her to have like a Geordie slash Newcastle type of accent. So I know you're already going to be planning ahead for that now.
Yeah, thanks for telling me. I will stop ripping. Geordie's hard as well. There's so many different dialects in England. I'm like, wow, every city has a different one.
Yeah, and like in my world, characters from the High Imperium, I'm like, oh, they all have varying English accents. So like then deciding like, okay, like Crow is from the southern part of the Imperium. You said you really love voicing Crow, and
Yeah.
I remember the casting call sheet I gave you. I admit I was ridiculous with what I requested for this character. I was like, I want her to have kind of a street London accent, but also a little bit posh, like somewhere right in the middle. And like, I'm assuming you probably read that and you were like, what? And but then the first time you voiced that character in the first book in The Hunter and the Knight, the voice came out. She's not even in this book that much. She has maybe 6, 7 lines.
Yeah.
And you did the voice, and I was like, whoa, that's Crow. Like not even like Claire is playing Crow well. I was like, that is Crow. Like
Yay!
you nailed, and I know you said that's one of your favorite characters to voice. You said, what about that character do you really like embodying? Like what speaks to you about that character?
I think so physically for my voice, I think she sits in a really comfortable place, which is always a plus. And I just love doing that accent. For some reason between like that where you were like it's kind of posh, kind of like London or street somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, like South
In
London
between.
street accent. Yeah.
Yeah. It gives her like a little bit of more edge, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which also one of my favorite things about her, because she's sassy, but she always frames it in like a very logical way,
Oh
because she's
yeah.
such a kind of logical person. And that and the accent just kind of like tie in, and I'm like, ooh, this is so nice. I love it when there's Crow. It's
So
one of my favorite scenes between her and Casta. I
your
loved it.
favorite scenes are with her and Casta?
Yeah.
They have a really fun dynamic, don't they?
Yeah, I love it. I
That's
love it.
what
Just that
that's why
banter.
like the I didn't plan for them to like become as close to have that connection that they ended up developing. That's what sometimes the characters just take on a life of their own. That's definitely
Yeah,
of that.
really. I thought it was like completely planned, like it was a relationship that was going to develop. So cool. That's amazing. And they gelled so well, and they're just like God, and they give and they give, and I love it.
Violet is
Really
looking at me
cool.
with a big grin on her face and nodding intently right now.
Also a favorite.
No, Violet has. We'll get to this later, but she has. She's probably my biggest shipper in the series. Like the series isn't that strong on romance, but you know what? Let's just jump to this now. Do you have any of your own ships? Because Violet has a bunch.
Wait, am I thinking the same thing? With Casta and Crow? Is that is that a
Is
thing?
that one of your ships right there?
I feel okay, so Casta and Dresco, I was like, okay, one day, like
Mm.
he's so handsome and he's there for her, and I'm like, oh, sweetheart. But then something happened with Casta and Crow, and I was like, hold up, is this gonna happen? I'm confused. And then of course another ship, obviously Saria and Ella. But
That's a big
that
one.
that that's just that scene at the end of the book just touched something deep in me. I was like, oh, romance and nostalgia. So cute. I loved it. Anyway.
Okay, I see that you've picked two very actually you picked three pretty popular ships there. Casta and Crow is one I hear a lot. Um, Casta and Dresco is one. Yeah, like people sometimes wonder about that in the beginning, like, oh, is it going to be an enemies to lovers thing? And then most people by the end of book one are like, nah, not really. Nah.
Yeah.
Like,
kind of brother sister energy, right? Sort of.
exactly. That's honestly, that's more how I see them. Is a very brotherly sisterly type of vibe, definitely. And yeah,
So
Saria and Eller, that's what like that's not even really a ship at this point. Like that just kind of happened. Like that's just those two are together. Yeah.
it's so cute. I love how they came back full circle and they found each other.
Well, I'm glad that. Well, you didn't say one that is probably the most popular ship, actually. And Violet's, what did you say it's your favorite? I think Casta and Raylan. Casta and Raylan is one that a lot of people.
That has crossed my mind before.
It has crossed your mind.
That has crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's so interesting. Did any of those like does that cross your mind when you're writing it? Are you
It might
is that
cross my mind. Like some of the, but again, the series does not focus very heavily on romance. So if it crosses my mind, it crosses my mind as a possibility. It doesn't cross my mind as something that I'm going to distinctly put on the page with great certainty.
Mm.
I am curious to see what some people think of how some of those relationships continue to develop in book 3. We'll see.
Pretty good. more Casta and Crow scenes for me. I hope.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Well,
keep that in mind while you're writing.
good to know. I'm happy to hear that. We've had a lot of back and forth with, the pronunciation of different names, places, and everything like that. So this question is another one from Violet. What fantasy series that you have narrated has the most difficult pronunciations, and why is it Endless Frontier?
I'm not even lying. It is up there. I think there was maybe one a few years ago that, like in the beginning, where everything was, yeah, a bit hard.
Yeah.
But I think with Endless Frontier, I mean, like letters inform how you're going to pronounce it, right? And like one of the things I could never get right in the beginning was things like AI. I would say is A, like Morve.
Yeah.
And then you actually wrote a note that said AI is always I, like your eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
try
like,
to be consistent.
okay, then I've got to keep that in mind. And then also with this series, there's very specific emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
So like Morvi, not Morvi.
Yes.
And that kept coming back because I could never get that right. No, I don't know why.
You are always such a trooper about, and I fully admit I'm picky about that kind of thing.
You must be.
Yeah.
You must be. It's your world, and you created it. You're like the god of Endless Frontier.
Well, yeah, and like I'm picky and I'm annoying about that. And guys, everybody listening, readers, not once when I have asked Claire to repronounce a name has she ever gone like, really? Like, do you really want me to say Veros instead of Veros that badly? Like, real? Okay, no problem, and does it like, and like I would be annoyed with me. So I'm just
no. I honestly I respect it. I respect how you've built such the world and you have such like everything so deeply, and it's my responsibility to bring that to voice. So it's never been annoying, and also you are so wonderful about including timestamps, which is so helpful.
Do other people do that?
Some people don't. No.
I couldn't imagine. No, like I figure as I'm listening to it and I say, oh, like Claire could read that line a little clearer, or like, oh, this name was pronounced a little differently there. Why would it just makes it easier on both of us if I just go, oh, it's 10 minutes and 4 seconds into the chapter. Like,
so appreciated.
I'll continue
sometimes
that.
you say like all all Veros are to be changed. And I'm like, but you're so kind. Like, even if a word like Morbai is repeated 15 times out of chapter, he will put every single thing. And I'm like, thank you so much.
Well, it's my pleasure. No, and Violet listens with me, and she helps a lot. Like if she catches something that I don't, like she will point it out to me. So just having a second set of ears really
I
helps.
appreciate your patience. Your patience
I
doing
appreciate
that.
yours. Kind of just side fun question here. You have 4 dogs. And I remember you were saying that in the first book, whenever there was a scene that was very traumatic with the Trugan, it made you have to go hug your dogs. Is
Yeah.
there one scene in particular that made you really feel like you had to do that?
Frivolous dying.
Mm-hmm.
I know he didn't like die, but like I thought he did well.
It was a fake out.
And I was
I
like,
admit it.
open this door now, where's my dog? Oh my gosh, that killed me. Killed me. But um even sometimes just like the Trugan in battle when they get like injured a little. I'm like,
I bet the
no.
rider in black messed you up.
Yeah, it legit did. And that's why you have to, yeah, I always go and hug my Omi because she's my original, my OG,
Understood.
my first dog. And she's super attuned to my emotion. And and I go and give her a big fat hug for like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, nervous system is rebooted. Let's go back to it.
That's what dogs and cats are good for, man. Yeah, absolutely. That's my cat is definitely my therapy cat. Just if I'm overwhelmed, I go pick her up and hold her for a few minutes, and then it's like, life's actually all right. Thank you, Raven.
Oh my goodness, that's so sweet. I can never hold a cat. Like I'm volunteering at an animal shelter yesterday and I tried to pick up a cat and it like scratched my face right here. And I was like, why don't you guys like me? Am I too like I think maybe
Claire,
I just have too much like enthusiasm and they're like, please
that could
calm
be
down.
part. Also, every cat's different. Some cats love to be held. Some just it's not their thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's personal space, a bubble.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you have a dog that reminds you of either Kai or Krevlis?
Okay, so my Omi, the OG, she would be my Kai. And that's I think maybe that's why like she became like my Trugan therapy dog. Because she's so much like Kai. Kai is okay, loyal and
Mm-hmm.
affectionate
Mm-hmm.
and like super badass, you know?
Yeah.
And she can be sassy and very protective. And then that is completely my Omi. Um, And then when Crevolus came along, that would definitely be my youngest boy dog, who's
Mm,
called Frodo. He yeah, because he kind of like follows Omi around and kind of like learns from her and but is also very protective and a very soft heart and just a big follower, not leader, you know?
that's
I
Krev.
always feel like Kai is the leader.
Oh, Kai's
Crevolus
definitely
is
the leader. Between the two of them, 100%. Yeah. Hero would be Krevelis, definitely. Hero.
really
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's very enthusiastic. And he just, if it were up to him, he would just play fetch all day, which I feel like would speak to Krevelis's heart. Yeah, like he's just like, why are you sleeping when we could be throwing a tennis ball around? This is ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing with
What
your?
are you doing?
Uh-huh.
That's so sweet. Oh no, no. What would your cat be? Would she be any sort of like
She
either one of them?
is
Or
more
she's different?
Kaiar than any of them, I would say. Like Raven is very quiet and
Mm.
but also same thing, very loyal. And kind of just likes to follow Violet and Night everywhere. And
Oh,
also she just like you look in Raven's eyes and she just kind of has this older than the earth wisdom that's kind of really hard for me to quantify. Like she just seems to understand something about life that most humans will never reach a level of enlightenment matching that.
that's so sweet. So nice. like a reincarnated magic cat.
She might be. She is pretty magical. Like you look into her eyes and you kind of just do feel this like transient hypnosis going on. Like there's something there.
Is she a what kind of like what
So
shade of cat is she?
she was a rescue, so we're not 100% sure. But she's gray with amber eyes. We think she might be a Chartreux or a Chartreux mixed with some other
Mhm.
kind of cat, but we'll never be like she just has the Chartreux behaviors. Like she follows us around everywhere. She just like absolutely values relationships with people over anything else in her life. Like,
So sweet.
yeah,
Oh, that's because she's so loved.
she is that. No, she gets cuddles from either Violet or me whenever she wants them.
Oh,
She's not
oh,
deprived of that. Let me just put it that way.
yeah.
Um,
So
I have a reader question. This is from Taylor, who's one of my newer readers, actually. She's just getting into the series, but she sent this question over. And she wanted to know who is your favorite character that you've brought to life with your voice?
I think Linara, I think is
Ooh,
my favorite.
I love your.
Um, yeah, I because she's just so fun and every kind of the normal flow I would have like with someone speaking normally. She's just completely not that. So she's like a holiday every time I voice her. And you can be so creative, like with the different stops and starts and she's just so like enthusiastic. Like if I'm tired, Linara is like gives me like a
She wakes you up.
espresso shot.
She's
It's
like
my
she
favorite.
definitely is a living espresso shot. That's a good way to pitch Lenara. No, but there is a lot more fun in book 3 with Lenara and Jarrus. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
you're gonna go to town on them. I know that.
I'm so
Uh,
excited.
is there a character that you personally identify with the most that you see yourself in, or
I so in this latest book, I felt I know it might be kind of like random, but like Eden Stillwind I identified with in a way.
interest? I love your Eden voice, by the way. Like
Thank you.
it's you just like you get this like star-eyed optimism in your voice whenever you're which is just it perfectly encapsulates that character.
Yay! I'm so glad. Um, yeah, I feel like Eden Stillwind because she's my husband always tells me I'm quite naive and I live in a pink bubble. And I'm like,
A pink bubble?
okay, yeah, a little pink bubble. And I'm like, as I'm growing older, I'm like, I don't want my bubble to pop. I'm very protective of my pink bubble. So
And she has
I
a
feel
blue
like,
bubble.
yeah, yeah, So yeah, I feel a little bit like Eden, but I do identify with Casta's love of love of her Trugan and her love of solitude. That
Mm-hmm.
she feels most at peace when she's just riding in
Yeah,
the desert. She doesn't really need much conversation or, you know, they're like the two facets of my personality.
kind of get both of them in there. You know,
Yeah. What about you? That would be
that I
interesting.
personally identify with.
Yeah.
This was by accident again, but I would say if there's a character who is just most like me, and it's funny
Mm.
because some of my like readers who hang out in my Discord, uh, they say after I say this, they're like, "Oh my god, that's so." Eller, uh, there it is.
Amen. I see.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Eller kind of like I find that I write him talking like me, just like engaging in like some of the same mannerisms that I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, he kind of became like not entirely, but a little bit of an accidental self-insert. You know, if I was
Yeah.
a scruffy pirate,
Oh, I could see you as a scruffy pirate.
right? The thing like all the characters have a little bit of me in there, right? Because like I made them so like even characters who like seem unrelatable, like Prelude Dast, have a little bit of me. in there. Like maybe even a character like Malachi Cassius. I think that always makes the character feel more authentic, is if I just put a little bit of myself, my thoughts, my own, if I'm feeling especially vulnerable, my own flaws into a character. Like,
It must be therapeutic as well to write that in a way,
totally.
especially yeah. And you
Totally.
kind of does it give you kind of a different perspective on your it said flaws if you were writing them in? Does it kind of give you more compassion for yourself?
Some,
Maybe.
I think it does when I read it back later. When I'm writing it, I'm just so into the story, and like just finding out where I'm taking it, where the characters are taking it, what's going to happen next. But sometimes when I'm reading it again later, I go like, whoa, that's real. That's
Yeah.
really real. Like it just kind of recontextualizes everything and like puts me back in that headspace. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Writing therapy.
Yeah, there's absolutely a level of reflection that goes into the writing. It's a deeply personal work. It might not seem like it. It might seem like it's, just about blue-skinned cowboy aliens shooting blasts of lightning at each other, but like, and it is that, but it's not all it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, it has again, like every character has such depth. And I feel what's funny, what I love about the writing is it has those really deep moments where you're like, damn, I felt that in my soul. That was so electric. And then it has like really comedic moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so full. It's so full. I love it.
Well,
I
thank you.
love
Like that
big
means that
big
means a
fan.
lot coming from you because you read a lot. So like, I mean, coming from someone who just goes through manuscripts constantly just as part of your job, it means a lot that you are able to connect with my work in such a way. It's really, really lovely. If you lived on the Endless Frontier world, if you lived on Irama, what species would you be? Would you be a Vandeni? Would you be an Imperial? Would you be a Dracalagon or a Sirenia? And what would your chosen profession be? Lawman, knight, just tend in the saloon like Vera? What would it be?
Tending a saloon speaks to me. I think I might be in, maybe I come across as imperial. I might be imperial, but I wouldn't mind being a pirate or a sailor.
An
So
Imperial
maybe an
pirate.
imperial sailor, like Saria when she was younger. That'd be so much fun.
Half Imperial pirate. I could totally see you as a pirate. You have this just like kind of free spirited nature to you, and also you sing a
Ooh.
great sea shanty. So
Thanks.
and for the record, those of you who have listened to folk tales, I did not ask Claire to sing that sea shanty. She could have, as far as I was concerned, just read it and be like, yeah, this is singing. No, she sang it. She sang it like a ratty scalawag, and it was perfect.
It's so fun to do those. It was really cool. I think for that one I looked up like sailor song and I was kind of like trying to get the beat and I was
Get a
like,
feel for
huh,
the
perfect.
melody. And yeah.
And I like took a break and set my dogs and start singing and I'm like, oh okay, and go
You
back and
got
do
it.
that then I guess.
There's a really, really pretty song in the third book that if you sing it, I will be very curious to see what you come up with.
Ooh.
We'll stay tuned on that.
Oh,
Um,
that's exciting.
oh, so we were talking about your accents before. So usually I'm very specific with my directives for the accents. I go like, okay, this character has like a posh English accent. This character's Scottish. This character is kind of like an American Western twang. For Vactare, our psychic fish-like character, I
Yeah.
said narrator's choice for that accent. What made you pick the accent that you did?
I think because it was so otherworldly and ethereal,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of wanted it to be, yeah, very different to what the others had had.
Yeah.
Because it was, if I remember correctly, it was quite a like a I don't like okay. So for that accent, if I remember correctly, because I know that was in book
One.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're talking like
yeah,
what, 2 years ago now? Hard to believe, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
we've been working together for so long. Um,
Wild.
but that accent came from not being able to do various accents and trying to pass that accent off as like, I don't know, Spanish or Middle Eastern or something. And then, does that make sense?
Oh, it absolutely makes sense. No, he sounded like a mystic, which he is. Like he sounded like if he was, if Casta was journeying through the desert and met like a mystic, psychic, spiritualist type, that is how I would imagine the character would talk. Only in this case, it's a underwater magical fish.
Magical fish.
Yeah.
I love that was one of my favorite illustrations was of the Sirenian Casta.
That's a beautiful one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is absolutely stunning. One of my favorites too. Yeah, Violet and I are actually in the process of planning the illustrations for book 3 right now. So we'll see. Maybe she can knowing Violet, she'll just keep knocking it out of the park because that's what she does.
Yes, every single one. Beautiful.
Claire, so a little bit about your background. I assume you had like some kind of training for acting. Where did you train? Where did you use such a wide, diverse skill set in the craft? Like, what got you started with that?
Um, so I went to a place in Cape Town called Waterfront Theatre School
Mm-hmm.
where I mainly did dancing, but musical theatre as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, my whole arts career started with dancing and wanting to be a ballerina. But but that yeah, kind of faded because I did like work experience in a ballet company, and then I was like, this is hardcore. So so
I
I
can
chose to do
imagine.
theater. Yeah, yeah. Even one of the ballerinas was like, if you're not like super into it, don't do it.
Right.
And I was like, all right, fair enough. I won't. So I
Probably
did
good
theater
advice.
instead. Yeah. So I did 3 years of like musical theater training. And then yeah, and then that was really all I did. And during that time I did dubbing as like a side hustle to try and get some money when you're a student. Dubbing of like foreign movies and stuff. So I think that was my training for this mainly.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, that was the biggest out of those 3 years I did in college. I think the accents and the voice work were very helpful. But obviously I don't use a huge amount of the other stuff now. So that dubbing, those little those little
So that was
city
really the key.
nightclubs, very
That was the
helpful.
key experience for you then, was the dubbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of come, I found my niche. It was a slow path to finding my little niche I needed in my career. And now I found it, thankfully. So
I'm certainly grateful that you did. I don't know what I would be doing right now if you ended up remaining a ballerina. So,
yeah. Even me, I don't know what I've done.
no, I think you're exactly where you should be. I mean, you clearly have just an immense passion and talent for the work you're doing. So, yeah,
I do. I do.
it's
It's
great
also
you can.
funny because I used to I only thought back on it like a year ago, but when I was young, I used to read out loud and I would refuse to read in my head. And my sister would be like, "Can you stop reading out loud? Just read in your head." And then and I thought back and I was like hectic. I was like, training myself as like a 7-year old in a strange way. I just loved reading out loud. And then it's strange how that came back to me to be a career.
Funny because I like reading out loud too. That's always something I really enjoyed.
Have you ever thought about narrating your own books? Was that ever a consideration?
It was a consideration. I don't know if I have the skill set, first of all. Second of all, I have a man's voice, and I already told you, like I definitely wanted to want, but see, actually, I do like TikTok lives. That's kind of my primary method of marketing at the moment. Is I just go on for like an hour or two a day, 3, 4 times a week. I talk to people about the book. People sometimes just buy a signed copy right there. But a lot of people jump and say, I want this on audio. And some people do ask me, like, oh, I really like listening to you. Do you do the audiobook? And I'm like, no, Claire Glover does my audiobook, and it's way nicer than if I did it. But so Some people have asked for that. Some people absolutely have said, like, this is
Yeah.
before they've heard you. They're like, oh, I'd really like. There actually is a recording of me doing Hunter in the Night and Folktales. Yeah.
Seriously? Where's
Well,
this one? I want to listen.
you want to listen?
That's
Really? It's old drafts. They're older drafts. I did it for myself when I was editing the because I just wanted to like listen to myself reading the draft while working on the next draft and being like, oh, that sentence goes on too long. Like, so it was really helpful for that. Of course, when like some of my friends and family members found out that I did that, they were like, send me that. I want to listen to it.
yeah,
Like that's how
of
my
course.
grandfather book was my little rough copy of me recording it.
That is awesome. I would love to hear like a little snippet.
I'll
Oh, he's
send it.
so beautiful.
I'll send it to you.
It's
I'm sure
also,
it's. I'm sure it's in my files somewhere.
I'd love to
Gosh,
listen.
that must have been 2018.
Really?
It was a while back.
Big deal.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
like 2018,
And you,
2019. Yeah,
wow. And then you only started, I mean, the first audiobook was 2024?
I didn't
4?
publish until 2024.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, that was so many years.
it's been 10 years since I first came up with the idea for this series.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then I finished the first draft of the first book in like spring of 2018. So yeah,
Wow.
it's been a long, long process to get it published and
Mm,
get it out there to readers. I wanted to make sure that it was the best version of the story it could possibly be before I put it
yeah.
out. So a
Yeah.
lot of revision, a lot of editing, all that.
Mm. Yeah. It's interesting because when you say you read it out loud, to kind of see how the sentences sound. Some of the clients I work with say they wish they'd done that, even though they did edit it, but it's when I come back with like the reading of the chapter, they say sometimes they realize like the flow wasn't what they had in their head when they were like writing it or reading
Yeah.
it, and they're like, oh, I wish I'd read it out loud before I sent it to you to kind of like yeah, see how it I don't maybe then voice just kind of makes you understand the flow better. I don't know.
Well, I actually, for any of your other clients, and you can tell them this by all means, I recommend reading it out loud if you can to like a friend or your partner and like
Mm,
getting instant feedback, not just hearing yourself say it, but having somebody else in the room who can be like, ooh, like you do realize that that was a mouthful of words, right? That should probably be 2 or 3 separate sentences and not one. Like, I think that helps
mm,
a lot.
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Sure.
Violet does that for me.
That's
Bless her heart.
that's to have that support. And also then they go along on the journey with you as well. You probably have like a circle of people who become as passionate about the book as you are. As or
Definitely.
slightly as.
I know you love doing accents and you bring a wide variety of them to Endless Frontier. I remember you said Scottish was the most difficult. Do you have a favorite accent to do? I know you said you love doing the Scottish one. Do you have like an absolute favorite or?
An absolute favorite. I don't. I have favorite ones. I think Irish might be my favorite, but I
What
hope
more
I
Irish?
hope I do it. Um, but I think I've over the last few years I've developed a relatively strong Irish accent, I hope. But but yeah, Irish is my favorite. My least favorite is like something like French because I suck. But
Yeah,
hopefully
I
there's no
don't
French.
really ever see myself including any French characters in my
Yeah.
world. Like it just, I don't think it would fit with everything. So at least on my front, you're safe there. But
Yay.
I would imagine like if you're doing, because I know you do some like romance stories, I would imagine a French character does pop up from time to time there.
Yeah, yeah, they do. And I was like, haha, okay,
You're like,
okay, no.
would you say, did you learn to do most of your accents just by the process of narrating and practicing, or was that something that you learned like when you were in training or anything like that?
I I did some in training, but mainly just American. That's the one they kind of focus on to make you more marketable, I
Yeah.
suppose. Uh, so the other ones, I think I've just always maybe had more of an, I know I had an ear for like languages, which I don't practice anymore,
Mhm.
but I think that helped with, um, I was always quite natural in getting the sound of, Afrikaans, or I did a bit of French in school. Um, but
That didn't.
the, it is, so yeah, I think I also grew up a little bit until like I was like 10 in an international school overseas, which I think helped because you're exposed to quite a large variety of languages.
That
I'm
probably
not
helped.
sure I'm not sure if that would have helped in like a formative way. But sometimes it's just trying your best
Yeah.
and hope it sounds right.
And well,
Yeah.
yeah, and it does that. Like your hard work
Okay.
on that front definitely pays. That actually, do you prefer narrating in an American accent or an English accent? Because those are your two primary go-tos, right? You do American or English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely English.
Mhm.
Just because it's just more, it's closer to what I sound like.
Yeah.
Um, Also, for some reason, I think my British accent sits deeper, um,
Interesting.
sometimes, which I think is less less work. Um, but then for the American, I kind of have to find my groove with it. And then I think it sits a little higher, which maybe is not as natural for me. Where it sits in, just because obviously I'm not American, so it sits in a different place. And sometimes it's word salad, with the R's. I'm like, whoa, so many
Yeah, the
R's.
harder R pronunciations. Well, also like in America, we pronounce certain words differently, like words that you probably never knew. Like that's one thing I started picking up on was like I don't know. Well, I can't think of an example right now, but like there would be times where I would be like, oh, because you're narrating in an American accent, you should probably pronounce it like this instead of like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big learning curve actually.
Yeah.
When I started doing audiobooks, a lot of it I felt so dumb because like American authors would come back to me and are like, it's not pronounced like that.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
like adversary versus adversary was one that I
yeah,
remember
that's
noticing.
a big one.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what is that? Adversary? What is what the? So
Yeah.
Google Translate is my best friend.
Right. No,
Yeah.
well, and you know what the funny thing is? Like, because I'm like, I've developed, and just when I'm listening back, just because like, I don't want anybody being like, listening to it and you do such a great job and being like, oh man, like, she pronounced this word wrong, blah, blah. You know how nitpicky people are. So, like, I list, and sometimes you will say a word a certain way, and then I'll be like, is that how that's pronounced? And I'll look it up and be like, oh, actually, Claire said it right. I've been saying it wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because I've been on
Or different.
Google.
Anyway, yeah, or different. Like,
Yeah.
well, the
Sometimes
States are
I
also like England. So, like, the way I pronounce, I'm from California. So, the way I say a word might be very different than the way somebody from Wisconsin says it.
yes, there's so much variation.
Mm.
Like, do you say I shone a light, or do you say I shone a light? You shone a light or
So,
shone a light?
either, now I don't even know. I shone a light or what was the other one?
So you don't say shone,
Sean?
shone a
No, I
light.
would never say Sean. Shone, maybe. No, actually, you know
Is
what
that
I wouldn't say
a
either of
gen
those, Claire. I would say shined.
you shined? What?
Weird,
That's
right?
great. Before doing American audiobooks, I don't know if either I'm dumb or we just never say shined, but I never heard shined. I was like, is that grammatically correct? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, we just always say shone a light.
Yeah, there's
I was
all kinds
learning
of
on my
crazy
own.
stuff like that, like differences between American English and English, and then more variation, I'm sure, with South African English.
Yeah, it's
It almost
fascinating.
does become a different language at a certain point. Like,
Yeah, it's
mhm.
fun because it tickles my brain. Keep learning.
Likewise. You said you like narrating in English. So actually, the next story, the story I'm going to start writing tonight in Folktales Volume 2, is going to be a prequel story. All the folktale stories as of so far are prequels, but from Dresco's perspective, when he was a knight of the order, serving
Ooh.
alongside Major Ferredin, Sir Aldero, and serving under Veth, his sister, in her army.
Oh my goodness.
As
I love Driscoll. That makes me so happy.
we'll see if you love him after this story about the Imperial Knights ransacking Edre Calagon village on the Sacred Isles.
Oh, oh dear. You
uh,
know what he learned? He grew.
he grew a lot, yeah. So I was going to ask, just from a creative perspective, how would you feel about for that story, since it's from Dresco's perspective, narrating it in your English accent?
I would
You
love
like that
it.
idea? You like that?
It might be
I just,
like jarring because I know with Endless Frontier I've always done it in like American. So
yeah.
it'll be jarring for the listener, I'm sure. But it will be like for me, I'll be like, what? But it will feel so nice. I would love to. Yes, please.
I just think it'll because like it's going to be pretty much all English accent sounding characters talking to each
Yeah.
other. So then you won't have to do like, your Claire Glover standard Endless Frontier, like, Dresco Norte said, we have to move to the beach. And then like, I just think that would be annoying as heck. Like,
That's true. If they're all British, that would make sense. And I would love to. That would be really, really cool. Eee. Also, that was so cool. Your narration sentence. You could be a narrator.
my little impression of you, my cheap impression of Claire.
Yes, it was so
I don't know
good.
about that. I think you're just being kind to me, but I do appreciate it. Well, sometimes Violet and I will have fun just like reading horror stories out loud to each other. And like that, if I was ever narrating, that's what I'd like to do is do like spooky stories. I just really love capturing the tension of a story like that. Even if I'm
Like
just
the like all the pauses you can put in, be like, and then dot dot dot.
right, like I don't have to explain this to you. You're like, this is my life. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, if you got a chance to narrate like a classic work, something just a staple of literature, would you have any first choice as to what you'd like to do?
Mm. I mean, my goodness, that's a hard question. I think so. It could be in between two things. I mean, I do love me a period romance, just the way they talk and the flow of
Yeah.
it. So something Jane Austen-y, Bronte would be lekker. Um, but otherwise, something I don't know why I'm thinking like the Jungle Book or like fairy
Ooh.
tales, like those really like old. I've actually got a copy of like the Anderson fairy tales, like a vintage copy, and something
Mm.
like that. And I would love to narrate, but yeah, something like that.
You have like the ability to get like that kind of fairy tale brightness to your voice. So I could see something like that really, really being
Yeah,
really
I
working.
actually love narrating for children for that reason. It's really
Oh,
it's really fun.
perfect.
It's like sunshine. Try to be sunshine, even when you don't feel like sunshine.
But it makes you feel like you are getting sunshine just because you're like, I am the sunshine of these children's day, narrating this book for them.
Exactly. It makes me feel like sunshine, and I'm like, oh, my day's better now.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I hope you get to do the Jungle Book. I would definitely, definitely listen to that. That would be
Mhm.
really cool.
That'd be
Um,
fun.
all right, this is a question I get asked a lot, so now I'm putting it to you. If Endless
Mm,
Frontier were adapted into a TV show or a film, who would you see as Casta? Who would you see as Dresco?
okay. So I look for some reason looking at the illustrations, and I know she doesn't have like red hair, but I
Fair
feel
enough.
like Emma Stone
Ooh,
for Casper. Is that a strange choice?
that's strange,
Like,
but I could also see it.
for some reason, looking at her face and like she can play like really rugged and not, because Castor doesn't really like care. I feel for some reason Emma Stone. And then, okay, so for Dresco, I was thinking like a blonde, hot Liam Hemsworth brother, but with a British accent and long
The
hair.
Hemsworth would definitely work for Dresco.
Right?
Uh, you know
Yeah.
who always comes to mind for Casta for me is Kristen Ritter.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if you've ever seen Jessica Jones, but she just captures like rugged femininity so dang
Mm.
well. Like I really really like Dreamcast right there. If it was live action, it more likely because of the nature of the universe, it would be animated. But if it was live action,
Yeah.
I mean,
That was so cool.
if it was animated, then I know you'd want to play one of the characters, and I know that I would definitely want you to.
Yeah.
If you only play one character, who would you want to play? Crow? Do you think
That was the first thing that came to
the
my
first
mind.
thing that
I
came to
think
your head?
so.
Yeah,
I love Crow.
I know you do. No, I know, and Claire Crow loves you. So
Yay.
no, just completely. I've already said this, but you completely embody that character. Like it's I couldn't. That's a character I could not cast any better than your vocal performance that you've already given. It's just like wow.
I'm so glad.
Like
So when the movie starts filming, let me know.
oh
Or
yeah, no, I know. I have your contact, so you'll be first on the casting call.
the
Speaking of voices, your Prelude Dast vocal effect is so scary, so intimidating. How do you get that effect? What filters are you putting on your voice? Because it does not sound like you.
Yeah. Um, thank goodness for software.
Right.
Um, so actually for Brelu's voice, which is nice because when he was talking a lot, um, I could voice him a little like lighter in tone than he would come across, which has helped um in when he was talking a lot for my voice. But so I have this thing called the Era Bundle, which is it has a whole lot of voice effects. And I don't think it exists anymore, so I've just backed it up 1,000 times. So I always have it,
Yeah.
like the download. But for him, I use a voice filter. It's Helmet Intercom at like 3%,
Uh,
and then Male Robot at like 6%. Um, and for some reason those two go together, and then I just like repeat.
that's the
And it,
combination
yeah,
that creates the most feared outlaw in Vanda.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Helmet Intercom and Male Robot. And the male robot then oh sorry, it lowers the pitch, which is helpful.
Neat. Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that. I remember I was like when I was listening to that chapter for the first time, making revision notes. And there's that long pause before you do that first Prelude Das line. I was just like, what's he going to sound like? What's he going to sound like? And then you get that, hello, Casta. And I was like, oh, there he is. There he is.
Yay! I'm
That
so
is the
glad.
best shot
I
I've
really
heard.
enjoy doing it.
So Malgay Cassius, who is like a looming dark presence in the second book, when he finally showed up for the first time at the saloon in Mist, minor spoilers if you haven't read Blood and Soul, what were your first thoughts?
So for him, I actually re-recorded those lines because they I was kind of discovering it as I went, and then it kind of revealed that it was him like not that long later,
Yeah,
but I just thought it was just kind of like a random. And then when it came
that's
across
right,
that it
because it
was
doesn't say his
Malcolm
name right away. That's right. I didn't even think about that. Uh,
yeah. And I remember having to go back and re-record it, and everything just made so much more sense and was so much more like creepy
yeah.
and so much more like menacing. The way he just creeped in there. I was like,
Uh,
what?
like,
Move
this is a
away.
man who can just move about unnoticed until he wants to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creepy as hell.
Uh-huh.
Creep. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I hope that I brought that into his voice. That kind of just that it's not whispery, but it's like a whisper in your ear, being like,
Like it gets under your
"I'm here,
skin.
be careful."
Yeah, that like it kind of feels like he himself is crawling under your skin, and it's unsettling,
Yes,
definitely.
creepy.
So, all right,
There's a lot around it.
this is more of a fun question. Do you have any memorable bloopers while recording any part of the Endless Frontier series that you would care to share with the readers or me?
So, I mean, for like the bloopers are mainly just a lot of mistakes that I make. A lot of mistakes that just get edited out. Um, but there are a few times, especially with the battle scenes, um, where my husband kind of comes and checks on me because if I'm screaming, he's like, "Are you okay? You sounded
Are you
distressed."
tearing apart the room?
Yeah. So there has been a few times where he does get a bit worried, especially if it's late at night. And I'm like, should I be screaming this loud, this late at night, even though it's soundproof? But neighbors.
Yeah.
Um, but especially in the first book, Omi since stopped doing it, my doggy. But she used to come and lie in the booth with me, which is very sweet because it's really cramped. So it's not entirely pleasant and it can get quite hot sometimes. But she would lie in the booth and then there'd be like a passage where she was snoring. And then I'd have to like go back and redo it because it was like dog snores in
We
the
could have
background.
said that that was Kayar snoring at the campfire.
Thank you. Yes. Wouldn't that be, I mean, cute? It's like a free sound effect.
Next time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep it in.
Um, no, so
Yeah.
I can think of one that ended up getting through to me. But
Okay.
yeah, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was book one, I think, like chapter 9 or 10, and it got to the end of the chapter, and then I
Mm.
was like, okay, cool, that's the end of the chapter. Let's move on to the next one. But there was still an extra like 6 or 7 seconds of recording at the end, and then
Oh no.
I just hear Claire's voice at the end go ba 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 ba, like doing a little vocal exercise between takes.
I know. That's one of my biggest fears because, like, I just press record and I just go.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of things happening in between. Like, I don't like I don't know. I'm talking to my husband. I'm patting my dog, telling them how much I love them. I'm coughing and sneezing, and it's one of my biggest fears that like something like that gets in. So I was mortified that that happened.
I know, and I just thought it was fun because it was early on, just in like the first drafts you were sending me anyway. So it's not like that was in the final, like, mastered version. It was just like, oh, hey, there's
Yeah,
a little extra. Talk about an extra sound effect right there.
yeah, that's so funny.
Speaking of sound effects, I think book three we might have to do some of those, but that's a conversation for a later time
That would be
because
fun.
yeah, there's
I
I know
love doing that side.
I loved in Rider in Black when Deadeye Dasland is coming to the boarding house. And I didn't
Mm.
ask you to do this, but you, when he's like thumping up the steps, you did like a boot thumping sound effect. And then when he's knocking on the door, you did like just like a knock on the table, knock on the door. And I was just like, that makes this scene so much more chilling than if you were just reading like knock, knock, knock aloud. Like,
Yeah,
loved that.
I'm really glad. Sometimes I do that in like honestly, I think it's fun because it's something, you're having an audio experience, so why not? Um, but also I don't know how to say knock, knock, knock without it sounding awkward. So it started off like with things like that, me being like, knock, 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 knock,
There,
knock, knock, and then me being like, let me just put a sound effect. I'm
yeah,
like,
no, and that's the thing. There's a scene in book three where it's like knights marching through the snow. So repeatedly, it's just italicized onomatopoeia of like rumph, rumph, rumph. And I was like, I'm not gonna make Claire say that 12 times. Like, let's I think a sound effect might be in order there.
that would be fun. Yay, I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad you like it. I know some
Love it.
people don't.
Love it. Yeah.
So,
So you I know the illustrations is something that we've already talked about a little. I know you said you like the Sirenia. What do you have a favorite of Violet's illustrations you've seen so far? Is that the one or?
That is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
One that stuck with me. So there's one that I love, but one that stuck with me. One that stuck with me from this previous book was the one where Madame Bailey's is over Castor when she's on the
that's a
ground.
beautiful,
Um,
beautiful scene.
it's a beautiful one. And I also love the flashes of color that they have. I assume it's in the book, it's not just in the one the
No,
copy
yeah,
I get.
that's in the ebook and the deluxe edition of book two.
Uh,
So this
it's
version of book two, where if you take off the dust jacket, there's just the non-titled version. You get the color splashes in the illustrations, which we just decided to do that because my printer in England lets me pay for color pages by the page. I don't have to pay for the whole book. So I was like,
oh,
we can give the readers some illustrations in color. Let's freaking do
yeah,
it. Like, it's worth shipping them from England to do it. It's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like those little accents. It really like draws the eye in, Even
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, even more so, it was all in color. But the
Yeah.
style of her drawings is absolutely beautiful and so like unique
It's
and
so neat.
detailed. When I mean, I'm working and I'm reading, and then I kind of stop to I'm like, I
Mhm.
need to take in this picture. And there's so many little details. It's incredible. I'm obsessed.
No, she's immensely talented. I could not have picked a better artist to just capture the vibe of my world if I actually if I went and tried to find one to hire who like I just happen to also greatly treasure her as a human being, and she's a perfect artist to collaborate with. So
Yeah,
it really
it's
worked
so
out well.
beautiful. Another one of my favorites is the dust jacket with the Trugan.
That one's great. Yeah, the Trugan
He's
dust.
so cute.
The Trugan really became fan favorites in a way that I never quite expected. Like people love the Trugan. Like people want Trugan plushies. People want all the Trugan merch.
Oh, True plushies? Yes, please. Can I have
Like
one?
I said, people want Trugan plushies.
Yes, please. Yes,
You'll be
please.
the first to
It'll
know,
have
Claire.
prime place in my office.
You will be the
And
first to know if Kaiar and Krevelis come on stuffed animal form. Yeah,
I'll have to get both because I can't choose.
you'll have to have the set. You'll absolutely.
Yeah.
um. So this is another Violet question. Jarrus Thane, our outlaw pistolier, has developed
Mm.
quite a fan base, particularly among my lady readers. They really like Jarrus.
Really? That's surprising to me.
Everybody has their types, I guess. But can you
So,
recall, or do you have a favorite, just absolutely repulsive, smarmy line of his? And I think I already know the answer based off your first reaction, but do you find his tactics in courtship effective?
no. I'm so confused. Did he really? All right. But no. I think he's hilarious. But
Mhm.
like, when he comes close, he's one of those who move like 6 feet across.
He's a very dangerous person, is the thing. Like, he's not just all talk, he's actually a very, very dangerous man. Like,
Is he hot? Is that is he supposed to be a hottie?
I'll send you a
Maybe that.
let me just say, Violet, because he is such a womanizer,
Yeah.
imagined him as just this classically good-looking guy. Like she
Yeah,
gave
I
him
didn't know.
in the Coldbrook Job illustration that she did, which you might have seen actually. It's in like the back of the book. I can resend it,
Yeah.
but she,
Wait, when you had all the little characters,
yes,
at the end, yeah.
uh,
That's it.
and he's really
Yeah.
small in that one, so I'll send you a bigger picture. But what did you combine, Violet? James Dean and who else? And she forgets. Yeah, but like James Dean it's like James Dean and Elvis Presley or something like that. Just absolutely
Oh,
timeless good looks. Like way better looks
yeah.
than this absolute low life deserves, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is that he knows it, and that's very annoying.
Mhm. Oh
And
no,
when
he absolutely.
he knows there was one line in when he's going to the escorts, I think, in the tavern, and
Uh-huh.
then they're like, "How are you going to pay them?" And he's like, "Oh, but with my presence, because that's worth
Yep.
like hundreds of that." I was like, "Boy, calm down."
Yeah.
So funny,
Don't
but
get
he does
ahead of
make me
yourself
laugh.
there, right? Now,
Yeah,
Jarrus's escapades only get more absolutely ridiculous as the series goes along. So
it's
if any of you
exciting.
all out there are fan, it's as I actually have some the reverse of that. I have some male readers who want to be him. Um,
Really?
who also are making them question their own preferences on top of that too. Like I
All
had one
right.
guy in my live the other day going like, even just his name, Jarrus Thane, it does something to me, man. Like,
It is a hot name. I'll
it is a fun
say
name.
great name choice.
That's one of those names too that like in first that wasn't his name in the first couple drafts. It was something else. I don't even remember what his name initially was, but I'm glad I changed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
Uh,
Change.
a lot of the
I
Shadow Riders had different names actually.
really.
A
How do
lot
you
of
know
them.
when you found the name? You just feel in your gut.
I almost
Mm.
think the character tells me. Like Crow was not named Crow at first. Her name was something more generic, like Varys or something like that. And then I was just like, this is not fitting right with this character. And I was like, she's a former secret operative for the Imperium. It almost seems like she'd have a code name. And then it just hit me like her code name is Crow. And that's just what
Yeah,
nobody
that
even
makes so
knows
much
her real
sense
name.
for
She
her.
probably doesn't even remember her real name at this point. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and she is like a crow. She's like
The
super smart and sneaky in a way.
way she dresses too.
Yeah,
All black and yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's incredible. You must be super proud of like all the characters you've created. It's incredible.
I'm definitely really happy with how it's all come together. Yeah, I would say Blood and Soul was the first book I put out where I felt really, really proud. Like, because then I just got to see everything kind of coming together. Like, and I got to see my writing grow. Like, yeah, and you can probably chime in on this, but I really feel like my writing has gotten so much better between book one and book two, and all the supplementary books in between. Like, just the characters give me an avenue to see the growth of my craft. So in that
Mm.
uh
It's beautiful. And there was also a I think in well, there was a personal note in the previous book where you kind of said, or maybe you just said it to me in a message, but where the themes that you explore in this book are a lot more mature
yeah
or deeper. There's a lot of
uh
there's depth and there's um conflict and ethics and all those
yeah
things. So there was a light-hearted feel to the first book in a way. Um, and yeah, and it's kind of like just gotten deeper and probably like grown with you as well, I'm sure, if you wrote it in
absolutely
2018.
yeah I think that is in the author's note, and I probably told you privately as well, just like, hey, this one's a lot more personal, and thank you so much for handling it with care and everything. And it's funny because some people, Claire, like some of my first readers, when they picked up Blood and Soul after going from Hunter in the Night, which was a more Indiana Jones lighthearted, fun adventure, some of them didn't like it. Some of them just were like, "Where's the tomb raiding and treasure hunting?" Yeah, like they just wanted the pure adventure
Mm.
and didn't want this like kind of shift in tone and direction. But most people did end up enjoying the fact that it
Do
wasn't
you think,
a repeat of the same book.
yes, it opened it up in a
Mm.
way. Do you think the folk tales is kind of like a good middle ground? Um,
I think with the
some of them.
inclusion of Rider in Black, it is because originally Folk Tales was just the three stories. It was Skyguard, Saria's story. It was the case of the Gill Ripper, Raylan and Casta solving the murder, and it was Duels and Debts, Nellic saying, "Somebody please help me not die." Uh,
Yeah.
but it was actually my editor who said you should have a story in here from Casta's perspective because that'll tie it better to the main series better as her as the centerpiece of all of this. So that's the reason
Yeah.
Rider in Black is a story in that collection, and I think that
Oh, okay.
that makes it that perfect middle ground. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's more, yeah, it's like so people who don't want the more of the hardcore themes, there's kind of something to break away with,
Right. Right,
within
exactly. I'm really happy with how it's gone. I can't wait till we start working on book 3. Like I think it's really, really going to I think it's going to surprise everyone, but especially you as you dive in there. Yeah. Speaking of which, do you, and we'll put a spoiler tag on this one. So if you want to skip, then jump to the timestamp that will be shown on screen there. Do you have any predictions for book 3?
Ooh, I kind of well, I want, okay, I can tell you what I want, but
Sure, tell me what you want.
um
That works.
I mean, I know I need Saria and Ella to develop. Um and I kind of see like I mean, it's already an uprising, but a lot of battles and like a French Revolution style overthrow the big guy vibe.
What
You know what I'm saying?
about the accents?
Um, and also, I also feel like there might be a spiritual sort of side of it because there is that thing where there's, the Imperials who believe so strongly in their kind of religion. And I don't know if this might be towards the end of the series, but then I'm not sure if there might be kind of like a spiritual meeting where no one was quite right, or like, if that makes sense, where like the ones who didn't believe and the ones who did believe didn't have it quite right, and there's something in the middle that they are like, oh, was that? Um, and then the last thing with the okay, I still feel like Raylan isn't really dead, but that's wishful thinking, I think. I need more proof.
You still feel like Raylan isn't dead. Interesting.
I don't know why. Maybe it was just too heartbreaking. I don't want to believe it.
Well, I mean, it's especially heartbreaking when you consider that like that's the first truly tragic thing that's happened in the series. So
You never expect them to die, these ones that are so pivotal, and when they do, you're like, what the? They must come back somewhere.
I mean,
But
I feel like you kind of brought her back the way you deliver that line in the trailer, like they're not going to leave. They're not after terrorists. They're after Vanda. Like I feel like that was almost Raylan like speaking from beyond the grave to the other
so
heroes.
she is dead.
I
Dang
mean,
it, beyond the grave. Oh,
Costa did find a pile of bones, so like it's not looking too good there. But
but whose bones were they? Where was the DNA tests? Where was the CSI? I need more proof.
you know what, Claire? If you want to live in the reality where Raylan lived, I'm not going to stop you from that. Like
Cool,
that
cool
that
CSI now.
CSI right now, go and analyze those bones with her clothes on them. I just have a couple of questions left, Claire, and then I know you're probably busy. I know you got a lot of projects you're working on. Speaking of which, what projects are you working on right now? And are any of them outside of the field of narration, or is that currently your primary focus or only focus?
Um, I'm mainly doing audiobooks at the moment,
Yeah.
narrating them. I just finished a really long fantasy, and now I'm doing more fantasy. So a lot of the ones I really love.
Yeah.
And have some period romances in the horizon, which is always exciting, a nice like break.
Uh,
Um, but I'm also working on writing as well. I write little children's books. I'm having a lot of fun doing those. And I
What?
do it for charity, mainly for the doggy, which I really have fun doing.
That is
So
wonderful. I
that's really
love that.
fun. Yeah.
That's
It's
so
really
cool.
cool. There's a lot of strays here, obviously, so they are getting a little money for them and writing at the same time and having fun. So yeah, either writing or reading, it seems.
That's beautiful. And hey, if you ever wanted to contact Violet about children's book illustrations, I know that's something Violet has always wanted to do. So like
Super exciting. I would love to. Yes, please.
yeah, I'll
Can't wait.
definitely have to connect you two. One last Endless Frontier question. Out of all the characters in the series, I know we already talked about Cassius, but besides him, were there any that kind of surprised you as you read? Like, were there any that you kind of went, "Oh, this is how this character is. Let me go back and try this again."
Mm. I found there was a process with Raylan like that in a
Oh,
way. I had
really?
to go back to her a few times. Um, because I mean she has the same accent as Castor, but they yeah, the way she talked, her like flow and her cadence, would you call it? Um, I had to go back a few times for her, and I still feel I'm worried I didn't go back far enough. But yeah, with her there was a learning curve. Um,
They have very
and
distinct
then
voices. I would never confuse your Casta and your Raylan. They don't really sound alike at all.
okay, I'm glad. Yeah, there was a learning curve with Raylan. And then Giavi as well. He's one of my favorites to voice actually, but I
Really?
had to find. Yeah, I know he's like on the side, but I had to find him, find that little guy, and he's one of my. I have a very soft spot for Giavi. I will say I need more of him, and I think he's a cutie patootie, and I just want to give him a hug.
He definitely is rather unassuming. We can, we can put you when don't you kind of go like, what are you even doing here? Like when
Yes,
like what are you doing with this like slimy band of outlaws like Nellic and Jarrus and Brelu Bast? Like
and they don't give him enough love and appreciation.
no, they really don't.
They don't even notice he's there. He's just like behind them.
No, people really don't notice Giavi is there, do they?
No,
You
but
know what
I
they,
do.
you know what they
I can
say?
tell them that.
Beware the quiet man, for when he's not talking,
Mm.
he is listening. And when he's listening, he might be
Mm.
planning your demise.
Oh my gosh, Giavi book three. Giavi the series coming.
Giavi solo series. That would be something, wouldn't it?
That was so cool. I love him. Anyway, there was a learning. He had a fun little stutter going on that I had to develop. Little stutter.
Oh yeah. No, you did that really because it was really subtle, but you pulled that off really well.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well, Claire, was there anything else that you wanted to throw into the conversation before we wrap this up?
Mm,
Anything you wanted to
I
cover? Any
wanted to
questions?
kind of how I I don't, it's not like a marketing question, but kind of like a how, because you seem to have quite a beautiful fan base. So I was wondering
They're
about
amazing.
that and how you kind of connect with them. Because
Multiple resources. So, you've read this like in the back of my books. There is a call to sign up to my mailing list. Very
yeah,
important because if people care enough to go give me their email, then I have direct access to them, and then I can kind of start forming a more personal relationship. Let them know what's going on. People can shoot me an email back and be like, oh, I like that picture of Raven. Here's a picture of my dog. Like, just, stuff like that.
yeah,
I think one of the beautiful things about being an independent author is the freedom that I have to form a personal connection with my readers in a way that most traditionally published authors would not be able to do. So,
yeah.
and then also just hopping on TikTok and doing lives and literally just having conversations with people. It's like doing an in-person signing, but virtually. Like people can just come in. It starts with, hey, what's your book about? I explain it. And then, from there, people can hop on the Discord, interact with me. And I think what's beautiful about the Endless Frontier fandom so far is I really wanted this world to be one that people felt like they could be a part of, that they could live in. And most of my readers really do see themselves in the world in one way or another, whether they just go, wow, I would love to be a gunslinging Van Denny, or like, one of my favorite readers, one of my bigger fans, her quote is actually, she's like a book influencer. And one of her quotes is on the back of the Blood and Soul paperback. And she said, I see myself as Casta. Like I really feel this connection with that character when she's riding across the desert on Kayar's back. Like I feel like that's me. And that's why I put these books out there, was to hopefully create something that gave people a sense of belonging. And you're right, Claire, like I think most of my readers do feel like they can be and should be and are a part of this world and a part of this journey, and they want to see where it goes. And they just it's such a personal connection, and it's beautiful. It really is. And
that's
it's been
amazing.
growing. Yeah,
I definitely feel that with stuff when I start reading one of your new books. There's like a feeling of almost like coming home, and I mean that. I'm not being funny. Like it really feels like it. It feels like yeah, you've just built this like nest of a world where there's endless like possibilities, but it still feels comforting to be in.
right. No, and that I always, same when I hear your voice coming back in to do a new project, I'm always just like, okay, here we go. Yeah, like this is.
Yeah,
I
it's
get to
happening.
listen to more Claire's take on the world, take on the character, because I mean, it's a special experience hearing you record the book, because like even though I've read the book by that time dozens of times, if not more, in editing, it's the first time when I hear you do it that I feel like I really get to read the book. If that does that make sense? Like I'm just experiencing my own work in a way that I don't get to when it's on a Word doc. Because when it's on a Word doc, I'm going, how do we make it better? That's always
it's
my
that distant.
yeah. But
It
no,
must be
yeah,
surreal.
you make me feel immersed in my own world in a way that even when I write it's not quite the same feeling, like
Yeah.
different form of.
Yeah. It's also it's kind of like a reward because you get to hear your beautiful words like reflected back at you, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yay! It's been so fun.
Really
Do you
fun.
want to see Omi?
I would love to see Omi.
For hello.
Oh my
Hello.
goodness. Omi is
He's so
adorable.
sleepy. He's
Omi
so
is
sleepy.
too cute. I love that Omi is a full-sized dog, but in your arms, Claire, he's just like diverting into puppy form. Like
I know. Isn't she sweet? I
she is
love. She always
adorable.
does this. So she's my Kaya.
That's your
She's
Kaiar.
my Kaya.
I can tell. Yeah, that's a Casta and Kaiar type of bond right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
So
yeah,
she's
I love how content that she is in your arms right now. Like this is definitely her happy place.
yeah. Yeah. She's my happy place too. You and me can go riding through the desert, huh? Except she got a back problem, so that won't work.
Yeah. No, maybe no saddles for Omi right now.
Maybe some cybernetics would be
Cybernetics to
great.
make you handle the
Enough
load.
to spare.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
Claire,
you.
before we wrap up, would you like to let my readers know, anyone out there, if you're looking for voice work and you want one of the best in the business, where can people find you? Where can people find, catalog, history of your work? And where can they hire you if they are looking to utilize your skill set?
Thank you. I have a website. It's clairenarrates.com. Claire, Claire, narrates.com. And then I'm also on Fiverr, which is where you found me.
It is.
I think you can search Claire Glover, but I should come up under female audiobook narrators.
You're one of the first options on there.
Oh, yay. Okay, that's comforting. I'm glad.
Yeah, like if you put in like female fantasy book audio narrator or whatever, then you're on the first page.
Yay! Amazing. I'm grateful. Thank you.
And
Yay!
I'll link your Fiverr page and your website in the description on YouTube.
Oh, this has been such an amazing opportunity and such an honor to meet you as well. I've only recently met like one other client I've ever actually like had a face-to-face conversation with.
Yeah.
So and it's really special. I don't get to do it.
No,
so,
it's wonderful, and I'm really glad we got to do this as well, Claire. I consider you part of the Endless Frontier family. So so yeah, being able to do this was wonderful. And who knows, maybe we'll do it again at some point around the release of book 3, possibly. Or even Folktales Volume 2 if that ends up coming out first. So
ooh, yay! I'm so excited. So much on the horizon.
So much. Lots of work. Lots of work to do. All right. Well, Claire, I hope you and the husband and Omi and the rest of the pups, Frodo and Sam, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I am going to start writing some character backstories until I can't keep my eyes open anymore.
You really are a night owl, but that's when the creative juices flow, isn't it?
Especially when I'm up here and I'm just like in the middle of nowhere and like beautiful woodland trees outside. It's just like this is my element to string words together. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's amazing. Gets you into the groove. That's so exciting. Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you, Claire. Yeah, and good luck on all your future endeavors and projects. And I cannot wait until we can work on our next project together.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.